Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسول كريم أما بعد. Dear brothers and sisters, when we started this series of having these talks on the odd nights, on the 21st night we were discussing of why are we here? And the one word answer of that summarized question was, we are here to worship Allah. And then we talked about where are we going? And the one word answer for that was Jannah. And then we discussed of how we are going to be preparing for it. And we discussed a number of ways in which we should be preparing for that journey towards the Akhirah, towards paradise, towards Jannah. Tonight, I would like to talk to you about that one particular night that we all are aware of, which is going to open up our ways of worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in ways that is going to get us that Jannah in a much quicker sense, I guess. So, of the manifestation of the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the fact that He has picked up two exactly same things, but He has preferred one thing over the other. He has chosen exactly two same beings, but He has given preference to one over the other, even though they are of the same species. Allah's blessings and barakah change and are different for different beings. And the hikmah of that, the wisdom behind that, is only with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The why behind that is only with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The literal meaning of barakah or blessing is an increase in the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as I said, He has chosen some creatures, some of His creations over others. He has chosen the prophets, and the prophets are like none of the other rest of the people. He has chosen the Sahabi. The Sahabi are unlike the non-Sahabis. He has chosen the scholars, the ulama, and they are not like the non-scholars. They are different. There is a difference. He has chosen some places over other places. There is no city like Makkah. Makkah is preferred. Medina, there is no place like Medina. It is preferred. It has been chosen. Allah is giving it more preference than any other place. And similarly with regards to objects. The greatest example of that is Zamzam. Of the waters of the whole world, Zamzam is the chosen one, the preferred one. More blessings, more barakah. Right? Even science who do their tests on Zamzam, they have said the benefits, the things that are there within Zamzam are unlike any water. And a droplet of Zamzam can make a whole water Zamzam. Subhanallah. So more blessings. And when we think about Zamzam, the minute I mention Zamzam, people are, yes, right? People know it, the people are eager for it. If you are given a sip of Zamzam instead of the water they just got, what would you prefer? I would prefer the Zamzam, exactly. So the Zamzam is preferred, right? We get excited about it. We want to have that more than anything else. Similarly, when it comes to time is blessed by Allah depending on which one He wants. All days are not equal. All nights are not equal. All months are not equal. If they were equal, we would not be motivated enough to worship. We would not be inspired enough to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the way He deserves to be worshipped. Right? So this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen the month of Ramadan over the other months. It is the preferred month. It is the, what can I say, the king of the months. And Laylatul Qadr, that night is better than the rest of the nights of Ramadan. It is the single night that has been chosen, that has been preferred. So if Ramadan is the king, Laylatul Qadr is the throne of the king, or is the crown of the king. Right? You can put it that way. No night of the year is as blessed as the night of Laylatul Qadr. Amazing blessing. And just to focus on that specific night, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed a complete surah for it. To tell you how blessed night this is. An entire surah, a whole surah of it. Right? Revealed to show you the importance of Laylatul Qadr. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala straight away at the start of the surah, He emphasizes on the surah straight away. On the night. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. And He's also emphasizing a couple of other things. The first is the coming down of the Holy Quran. Right? It is the revelation. It is the coming down of it. And there is no doubt, if the Quran is coming down, the blessings of Allah are also coming down with it. The month of Ramadan became blessed because the Quran came down on it. Right? It was revealed in that month. It was revealed in this specific month. It came from the preserved tablet. Lawh al-Mahfuz, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought it down to the lowest heaven. In the month of Ramadan. And this whole month is blessed because the Quran was coming down. Then what about the very night that it came down? The whole month is blessed. What about the very night that that Quran was revealed to us? Came down to that lowest heaven. The very night when Iqra happened. The first words came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What about the status of that very night? We all understand its value. But we need to be reminded of the greatness of it, time and time again. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, he says, on the night of Laylatul Qadr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala physically sent down the Quran from the Lawh al-Mahfuz to the lowest heaven. So physically it came down to the lowest heaven, and then from there, over 23 years, ayah by ayah, or surah by surah, or a few ayahs together, they came down to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam through Jibreel alayhi salam, as we all know. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. And what will make you know what Laylatul Qadr is? You know, when you have small kids and you cannot explain them something, you have the tendency, how do I explain to you this? What can make you understand what this is? It is beyond your understanding. So you're telling a child who is 3 times younger than you, and you're trying to explain a concept, and it is like, not possible. How do I explain this to you? It's the same way. Allah is telling us, how do I explain to you what Laylatul Qadr? You're not fit enough to understand that. The beauty, right? That is Laylatul Qadr. So how do you understand it? Unbelievable. What will make you understand what Laylatul Qadr is? So, Qadr basically has various meanings. Right? Laylatul Qadr. And we'll get into the meetings, but this night of Laylatul Qadr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it special, unique for the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is the only, probably the only unique thing for us, for this ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Fasting, it was prescribed for previous ummahs as well. Salah, it was prescribed for previous ummahs as well. Giving charity, zakah was prescribed for previous ummahs as well. Right? Even aspects of Hajj from Ibrahim alayhi salam, certain prophets used to do parts of it, and it kept coming. But Laylatul Qadr, our special night. This ummah's special night. No other ummah got it. Unbelievable. And the scholars have different opinions of why this is the case. Right? One of the opinions, based on a weak hadith, but it is inshallah good to narrate, is that the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, meaning us, we live a maximum of 60, 70 years. Luckily 80, 100, a few. And in comparison to the previous ummahs, they used to live for thousands of years, or at least hundreds of years, right? If not more. In comparison, they get so much time to worship Allah. We have 60, 70 years, of which by the time we get some sense, we are losing a few years, right? So, the understanding from some of the scholars on that is that potentially, the hadith that says that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's concern was this: how will my ummah compare with the other ummahs who worshipped Allah for thousands of years? We'll be nowhere in line. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed the Prophet's ummah with this special night. A night that can basically, the worship on that night can basically get you more than 1,000 months of worship. Straight away. One night, more than 83.33 years of worship. Straight away. And if we were to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every year on Laylatul Qadr, then keep multiplying how many years you are alive into the 1,000+ months. So there you go. You are on par with any ummah that was ever there. So that's one of the understandings that some of the scholars have said. All the blessings piled up into one night. And the beauty of it, like I was saying initially, the barakah of time. Barakah of time. They had to live that many years to worship Allah. You have to worship Allah for one night to make it equal to that many years. Amazing concept. Amazing concept. And we are not even counting the time that we are sleeping, the time that we are eating, the time we are drinking, the time we are spending time with our families, with our friends, at our work. Straight away, one night's worship gets you direct 1,000+ months of worship in a go. Constant worship. Amazing understanding. The heights of barakah. Right? That within one night you get so much. So, as I was saying, Qadr has many meanings. And one of the primary interpretations is called Zu Sha'nin Azim. Zu Sha'nin Azim. It has a grand status. It is worth a lot of respect. Magnificent, majestic, Mubarak night. In another place, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran has said, Mubarak night. So it's a blessed night. It is the most blessed night. If only we could understand. If only we could understand. We would give up anything to continuously worship these nights. If only we could understand the true value of it. And the respect part of it, again the scholars say there are two opinions. One thing is the night itself is a respectable night. The night itself is a respectable night. And the second aspect is the one who worships in that night becomes a respectable person. The one who worships in that night becomes a respectable person in none other than the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. Who else do you want respect from? If you are gaining respect in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who else do you want respect from? Easiest way to raise yourself in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Simple ladder, simple steps to climb. Right? And no other time of the year gives it. We are in this blessed time period. Laylatul Qadr might have passed us, or it might be tonight, or it might be coming on the 29th, or whatever you have, whatever time we have remaining. Let us push towards that. Let us get the value out of it. Another meaning of qadr is it is the sixth pillar of Iman. Meaning that we believe that all good and all bad comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly. That is a pillar of our Iman. We should know this bit. It's the sixth pillar of Iman. So Iman meaning faith. If you don't believe this, you don't have faith. So Qadr, the night of decree, the night of fate, is also a valid meaning for the word Qadr. So it's a night when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is deciding your decisions. It is not like He is writing them, because your life has already been written much before you were born. But those decisions of your coming year are being sent to the angels. Such and such a person for the following year, this is going to happen with him, execute. The angels are being given their duties. Because the angels don't really know, do they? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone knows. The angels are informed on an annual basis on Laylatul Qadr. This is the duty for the such and such person. Go execute. It is that kind of night as well. And these angels, who are again divided into divisions, committees, right? Just the way we have in companies. They have their own groups. So the group who has to bless somebody with a child, go, this year you have to do to so many people. So all those duties are being handed out tonight by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who is going to die? Going to be handed out. Who is going to have a sickness that they are not going to recover from? Who is having a sickness which will be removed? All those aspects, all these important decisions, powerful decisions being handed out tonight or on the night of Laylatul Qadr basically. So, as I said, there is no doubt that this Ramadan might be the last Ramadan for some of us. Last Ramadan. And if it is the last Ramadan, it is definitely the last Laylatul Qadr as well. So think about it. Ponder over it. How do you want to spend your last Ramadan, your last Laylatul Qadr? What would you give except to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in it? And as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps telling these angels, lift the musibah from someone, or give musibah to somebody else, right? All these difficulties are being passed on. So if you are working somewhere and you have a job promotion going on, and you know that tomorrow is the results of that, what is going to be your attitude? You will be eager, you will be nervous, you will be worried, sweaty palms, right? What's going to happen tomorrow? How much of a raise am I going to get? Right? What benefits am I going to get? A tendency will happen. And here we are talking about a night on which your future year is being decided again. It is going to be decided what you're getting. So should you not be nervous about that one? Should you not be worried about that one? Laylatul Qadr is not about your worldly income. It is about a decision between your life and death. It is something major. So how should we be feeling? Where is the nervousness? Where is the worry? How can you sleep on a night when tomorrow is the promotion or it is going to be decided what's happening this year? You can't. You really can't. So think about it. Start begging Him, praying to Him, shedding those tears. Another meaning of Qadr is restriction. Restricted. So it is a restricted night. Now why is it a restricted night? And the scholars have told us that it is a restricted night because it is a night in which there is no space. No space. A night of restriction. And the reason is the angels are amongst us. And how many angels are there? As the Prophet ﷺ says, the whole heavens are filled with angels. Not a handspan space is there where an angel is either doing qiyam, ruku or sujood to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala constantly. If that is the number of angels in the heavens, even if some of them come down, how much space will be left on the earth? It's a night which is restricted. And understanding from the scholars, amazing. And the Prophet ﷺ even says the heavens creak with the sound of their worship and the amount of angels that are there. And the earth is very small in comparison, right? If all of them come down. And the quantity of angels is unbelievable. None can count the army of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. Human beings, we can at least try to work out some numbers. Here there is no chance. No chance. Night of no space. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. And what will make you understand what the night of Laylatul Qadr is? Allah literally has framed it as a question. You cannot understand. You do not have the capacity. As I gave the example of a parent to a child earlier. So similarly, it's the same case. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. It is not possible for you to understanding, but just for your limited mind, just for that child's limited mind, just to come down to that level, right? To make you understand in some form at least. Allah is saying, Laylatul Qadri khayrum min alfi shahr. It is better than 1,000 months. Maybe your limited mind can understand this much at least. Acha, greater than 1,000 months. That is how much we can understand it. You do not have the power to understand it beyond that. And Allah tells you only this much. Right? Khayrum min alfi shahr. And it is not 1,000 months. It is more than 1,000 months. Khayrum min alfi shahr. Better than 1,000 months. So we cannot really imagine how good it is, how brilliant it is, what a night it is. Because we are limited in that sense. Right? Again, the importance of Laylatul Qadr. There is a common greed in mankind, and that is of having a long life or a healthy life, right? Where you are at your most energetic best. It's a desire. You want more time for things to do that you like, right? That's the habit of every human being. And it is a desire that even Adam alayhi salam had. Why did he eat from that tree in Jannah? He ate because the shaitan said, eternity, eat. You're going to live forever if you eat this fruit. Even Adam alayhi salam got tempted by it. And he ate before realizing the big mistake. Right? So, the desire for a long life. Allah is giving you one night to live a lifetime. Allah is giving you one night that can stretch into 1,000 months. Worth 1,000 months and more. Better than 1,000 months. An age that a majority of us might not live to, right? 83 plus years. A lot of us will not live to that age. And as I said, if we do live, we'll be spending time doing things of this dunya. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this night is giving us that bonus package. Your desire to live a long life, but the desire should be to worship Allah for that long life. And He's giving you one night to do it. Go. Blessings and favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what else happens on this night? Tanazzalul malaika. The angels are coming down. As I said, majority of them are coming down. It's filled. The whole of earth is filled. There is no space. You are in the company of angels. Would you rather be in the company of angels or devils? There is no doubt you would prefer the angels. Exactly. So, why not? Be there in that night. Be in their company. Spend the night with them, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah says, وَالرُّوحُ فِيهَا. Malaika, وَالرُّوحُ فِيهَا. Angels are there and Ruh is also there. So specifically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pointing out one angel who is there, and that is Jibreel alayhi salam. Jibreel alayhi salam himself is coming down. The angel that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had chosen to deliver his messages to the prophets and messengers. That angel's duty, that main duty, that primary duty of giving the message to the prophets and messengers is over since Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has passed away. His main duty is over. There is no reason for him to come here. Yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending him down every year on Laylatul Qadr for us. To make this night of Laylatul Qadr more blessed. There you go. Even Ruh I am sending. That is the beauty of it. Think about it, what this night is. We cannot imagine, there is no doubt. بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهِمْ مِنْ كُلِّ أَمْرٍ. And all these angels are coming down by the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to receive their orders. مِنْ كُلِّ أَمْرٍ. For the whole year. And as they receive these orders, they're going to execute them throughout. سَلَامٌ هِيَ حَتَّى مَطْلَعِ الْفَجْرِ. There will be peace in this night, the whole night. Till the point of Fajr. Till the point of dawn. It is not too long. It is in fact too short. But it is a night of barakah. It is a night of peace. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is emphasizing there is peace in this. Use it. Have it. Take it. Right? If we are wise enough, if we think we are wise enough, then there is no doubt that we are going to make use of this night. If we are not going to make use of it, we should stop calling ourselves wise people. Right? No matter how much white hair we grow. Right? So we need to understand, if you want this bonus, you have to stand up. You have to stand in line. And Allah is not selective here. That all of you worship, I'm going to give only to you. Allah is not selective in that sense. All of you stand, I'll give you all of you the bonus. So we all must stand. We all must do the qiyam. We all must do the ruku'. We all must do the sujood. We all must recite the Quran. We all must give away something for charity. We all must make dua. Worship in whatever form you prefer. Just worship. There must be some form of worship that comes easy to you. Do that one. Right? Don't have to look at the person next to you who's standing throughout the night. It might not be your cup of tea. Do something else. Recite the Quran. Reciting the Quran might not be your cup of tea. Give zakah. Give as much as you can throughout the year on specific nights. That might not be your cup of tea. Just raise your hands and make dua. One or the other thing you can do, I'm sure. So let us do that. And as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, nothing changes qadr other than dua. So don't devalue the dua. Make lots of dua sincerely. It might be your last qadr. It might be your last Ramadan. And make the dua that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam narrated to Bibi Aisha radhiyallahu anha. Allahumma innaka afoon tuhibbul afwa fa'afu anni. Oh Allah, you love to forgive, forgive me. Right? Let us make that dua. And as I said, this might be our very last Ramadan. Make dua sincerely. Treat it as your last Ramadan. Treat every night that you are alive as your last night in the world. May Allah make it easy for us to worship in this night of blessed nights. May He help us to worship Him in a way that He accepts all our du'as. That He makes us conscious of Him. That He forgives all of our sins. Because He is the Ghafoor Rahim. May He help us to make dua for our brothers and sisters across the world who are suffering in unspeakable terms, as I have mentioned again and again. And we all are aware of it. May we raise our hands in the night, and every time you raise your hands, please make dua for your brothers and sisters. They need it. They need it. And your sincerity might be something that Allah will help them with, to ease their pain, to give them more patience, to make the path to Jannah easier for them and for you. It might be a way for you to get to Jannah as well. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.